Good morning, everyone. It is great to see so many people here at 8 a.m. in the morning, ready to learn about healthcare in the 21st century. This is a Yale Alumni Association event, and I don't remember being up at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings to learn like this when I was in school. My name is Alison Brody, and I am the Vice Chair of the Yale Alumni Association's Board of Governors, and that is the group that works with university administration and alumni relations staff to create programming for Yale alumni all over the world and to support hundreds of Yale alumni groups across the globe. So when people think about what college alumni associations do, they probably think about tailgates and happy hours and fancy dinners, and I'm not going to object to any of those activities. It would be hypocritical. But the Yale Alumni Association tries to provide a much richer postgraduate experience than just that. There is a pronounced emphasis with the Yale Alumni Association on service, alumni serving their communities with events like the Yale Day of Service, alumni mentoring current students with programs like Careers Life in Yale. And there is a goal of establishing postgraduate networks for career and friendships through shared interest groups, local clubs, and class groups. Another part of what the Yale Alumni Association does is to provide intellectual stimulation for alumni outside of New Haven. Every year, the Yale Club of Oregon has been lucky to have faculty speakers come and talk to our group. But this year, with this conference, we are having multiple Yale faculty here. We have got local medical leaders. We even have an intrepid Harvard professor who has agreed to meet with us, so it's a very special day. And at this moment, we'd like to take a minute to think of Professor Robert Burt, who was one of our scheduled speakers, who recently passed away, and so we think of him today. We're doing... Can I say one sentence? Please do.
I'll be very, very brief because I know we're just getting started here, but I actually had Robert Burt as a professor 30 years ago, and although I had many, many wonderful law school professors, he was the one with the biggest heart.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. So we are pulling all of this off with the help of the InterHospital Physicians Association, and this kind of collaboration with a local group to create programming that benefits not just Yale alumni but also members of their community, that is one of the directions that the Yale Alumni Association is headed. For the Yale alumni in the audience who have not been involved with the Yale Alumni Association before, we hope today will change your mind. For members of the InterHospital Physicians Association and for other friends in the group, we extend a warm welcome to you, and we hope that you will consider joining the Yale Club of Oregon in May 2016 when we celebrate the Yale Day of Service and we volunteer with local nonprofits. An event like this takes massive effort, and first and foremost, we have to acknowledge Xiaoyan Huang, Yale Club of Oregon board member and a new member of the Yale Alumni Association. Xiaoyan had a crazy idea a couple of years ago, and here we are today. She has spent hundreds and hundreds of hours finding fabulous speakers, putting together a rich and meaningful program for all of us. This event is breaking new ground for the Yale Alumni Association by offering continuing medical education credits and by really being involved with the community organization. We wouldn't be here, Xiaoyan, without your vision and without your determination. We are also lucky to have Emmy Pumariga as one of our Yale Club of Oregon board members. When you're hosting an event like this, it helps when you have a professional event planner in your stable of volunteers. And so everything that is happening today, the food, the venue, all of that good stuff is due to Emmy. We have Nori Babbitt and Diane Morrissey of the Yale Alumni Association staff from New Haven who are here today. And they are total pros, and they pull off wonderful events across the globe for Yale alumni groups. And a big thank you to Debbie LaPearl from the InterHospital Physicians Association for being such an amazing partner in all of this. The support that we have received from the InterHospital Physicians Association has been tremendous, and we are so excited to be sharing today with you. Finally, I would like to thank the friends and family of Robert Redpath, Yale College class of 1928. Upon his death, his friends and family created a fund administered by the Yale Alumni Association, which finances the Redpath Speakers Series. Mr. Redpath loved Yale and spent decades devoted to his class, his local club in New Jersey, and to interviewing local high school students who are applying to Yale. In 1968, Mr. Redpath was awarded the Yale Medal, which is the highest honor the university bestows for service to Yale. He viewed college graduation as the beginning of lifelong learning, and with his spirit in mind, the Redpath Fund was created to extend Yale's ability to bring speakers to alumni outside of New Haven. The Yale Club of Oregon is the grateful recipient of Redpath funds, which made today possible. Today is a remarkable opportunity for Yale alumni, for local doctors, and for people who just love to learn. I'm really excited to hear what the speakers have to say, and I'm excited to hash out ideas over lunch and dinner with all of you. On behalf of the Yale Alumni Association, thank you for being a part of this wonderful event.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Susan Clack, and I'm a practicing physician at Tigard, Oregon. Oh, can't hear it all? Is that better? Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name's Susan Clack, and I'm a family physician from Tigard, Oregon, who is president of the Portland IPA. Our organization, the Portland IPA, has actually been around for about 35 years. We started back in the days to work on managed care with the physicians, hospitals, and the systems. And through the many iterations, we have actually evolved to where we're back to the same thing, because we're getting ready to do managed care in a different format. I thought a lot about what I was going to say today, and I thought really what I wanted to talk about was what the IPA did. And as I did this, I was thinking, oh my goodness, how can I do this and portray it and say it in so many words? And I thought back to my childhood, and I thought back to another dream that I had, and an opportunity that I had to, or opportunity I thought I might have to participate in another profession. And I thought, boy, that profession actually portrays what we do at the IPA very well. So I get to take this as an opportunity to share a dream with you. And I would like to start that now. So this is my little... So welcome, everyone, to the IPA and Yale Alumni Club, flight number 1, beyond healthcare beyond Obamacare. If you would, our flight today is going to be approximately 9 hours, and we will be stopping at first analysis of the Affordable Care Act, second, what it accomplished and what it didn't, and third, hopefully where it needs to go and how we'll collaborate to do that. Our captain today will be Dr. Xiaoyan Huang. She is one of my idols in the Portland community. She is a practicing cardiologist, and she is a healthcare leader and has very many great ideas. But that's not what I admire most about her. I admire the fact that she has a wonderful family and that she spends time with patients. And she actually has a very, very human side to her. So we are very lucky to have her here today. The weather for the flight is murky and turbulent, and we're not quite sure where it leads to. And so we'll be having the turbulence, and you need to listen to the safety check that we're going to do. Restrooms are located when you orient to the plane. They're to the left on the exit, and you go down the hall. Your other hostesses that are here, I forgot to actually say, are IPA members, and they are the yellow placards, if you could stand and show them. So they'll be assisting today. There's Debbie and Steve and Donna and a few others. The other thing that you need to know is that there are 4 emergency exits. You look down here, here and here. And folks that are by those doors, if there's an emergency, you need to open the doors. And if you can't, we can have one of these folks talk to you and we can replace you. Okay. We have it with us, everybody should have ballpoint pens in front of them. The thing that you need to do is click those And it's very important you have pads there. So if you click and apply to the pads, you can write down questions. Okay? And we are having a drawing for the best question later today. So we'll actually, if you actually will be eligible for that, if you actually hand in a question, we'll use it at the panel. We have, in case of technical emergency, we have a HUVA application. And those of you that haven't got that, when the technical emergency comes, our IT specialist, Hong Chang, will come up here and explain to you how to do that. If you have someone next to you that doesn't have it, please take care of yourself first, and then you can actually talk to them later. Okay, and then in case of water landing, we initially would look under the chairs, but we thought that was too difficult. So if you open up your pamphlets, you will see that there are some tickets here. These tickets are very important for you all, because if you need a drink at the lounge tonight, that's how you get one. And they'll be, they are entered in the raffles that we have. So you want to make sure that you keep those available. Lastly, we would like to let you know that this is all possible because of the Yale Alumni Club and because of Dr. Huang. And we thank them greatly. We look forward to the number of speakers that we have and the ideas that you all have. Unfortunately, I will be up here intermittently trying to do drawings, so you'll have to tell me if I can't be heard again. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Xiaoyan. Sorry.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I would like to thank our co-sponsoring organizations and the many people who have put a lot of hard work into this. Over there, specifically, I want to say thank you to Debbie. Without her, this would not have happened. So let's give her a round of applause. So I also want to thank our speakers who have traveled from New Haven, Boston, Philadelphia, Birmingham, and even Buenos Aires, and even further, the Providence Health Plan. So I know that you're all dying to hear from our speakers, and I have the lucky job of introducing the speakers to you. But I wanted to remind you that actually one of the biggest assets about this conference is you, our audience. So before I start introducing our faculty, I'm going to do a reverse introduction. I'm going to introduce the audience to our speaker panel. So there are, on our last count, 133 registered attendees. A couple other people showed up, thank you. There are 66 physicians amongst us, 6 MPs and PAs, 49 Yale alumni, and then most people are from Oregon, not necessarily Portland. There are 23 people from outside of Oregon. Amongst us, and you know who you are, we have a primary care doctor who lives on a farm in rural Oregon. We have a transplant cardiologist from University of Washington. We have an Intel engineer, chemical engineer turned healthcare consultant who works for now Care Oregon. We have a young lawyer. Actually, I don't think he showed up. A young lawyer who wanted to volunteer and take photographs, but fortunately I have a backup computer science professor at PSU, who's my husband. We have internists, family practice physicians, nephrologists, gastroenterologists, cardiologists, surgeons, pediatricians, neurologists, and many other specialists. We have PSU, OSU, USC students. We have a medical student from Atlanta. We even have a high school student from OES. Where is he? Well, I'll talk to him because he's my son. He should be here. We have the president of the Oregon Clinic that our group sadly left a few years ago, Craig. We have the COO of Providence Health Plan, the Chief Medical Officer of Vancouver Clinic. We have the Chair of Pediatric Hem-Onc from Dornbecker Hospital at OHSU, Chief Nursing Executive at Providence, Senior Director of Hospitalists at Providence. We have internists from Legacy and Adventist, an MD, PhD pathologist from Kaiser, anesthesiologist from OAG, and there are several of you here. I hope your business is going well. We have practice managers from Compass Oncology, Women's Health, Retina Specialists, and several other practices. We have residency director from Providence, Milwaukee, the Barbara Emily Knudsen Endowed Chair in Family Policy Studies from OSU, the attorney in charge of HHS at the state of Oregon, and many, many other very interesting and talented people. And you too, by the way, have this information in your hand on our event app called Whova, and I know a lot of you have downloaded it, and I hope you like it and that you'll be able to connect with your fellow attendees. We do not strictly forbid you to actually make eye contact, shake hands, and talk to your fellow attendees, even though it's kind of old style. You will also be able to put some pressure on our speakers by liking them, following them, making comments, taking pictures of the slides, and sharing the slides, both inside this group and also tweeting to the outside world. By the way, a word of caution for those possibly overcompensated healthcare executives amongst us. So if there is a person named Diane who sends you a Whova message asking you how much your compensation package was last year, do not tell. We have the president of Lund Report here. Diane, I hope that joke was okay. Going through this list actually makes me wonder if we actually made a mistake naming this conference, that we called it Bridging Policy to Practice. In fact, that maybe this is not a one-way street, that there's only information flowing from the faculty to the audience, but rather that we're here to bridge many gaps, okay? Gaps between primary care and specialists, between health plan people and health system people, between faculty and audience, between healthcare providers and consumers, lawyers and doctors, Yale and Harvard, Providence and Legacy and Adventist, OHSU and Kaiser, and many, many other gaps that usually keep us in our own silos. So why are we here on this, I hope, beautiful Saturday morning at the basement of Portland Hilton? I think it would be too cliche to say that we're here to change the world. That's actually a Harvard alumni conference. In my many months of begging, and begging more to have people come to this conference, I heard many reasons why people cannot be here. They're on call, they're traveling, they're taking care of their ailing parents. Some people even made up lame excuses, such as that their daughter or their niece is getting married. But the most heartbreaking and brutally honest one that I got was from a friend, an oncologist, and I quote her, "I barely keep my head up above water to catch up with all the notes these days. So many patients to see," end quote. Wow. I think that's actually the reason why we're here today, right? We have lots of things to figure out. And I want you guys, when you're connecting with your fellow attendees and the speakers, sorry, to talk about why you're here and why they're here. From talking to some of you, I know that there are at least 3 main reasons, if we don't count the cocktail hour with jazz. Number one, I think as healthcare providers, we do want to save a life sometimes. We want to make people's lives better and help them live longer. And we want to figure out how to do that better. And that's why we come here to hear about innovations out there of how we can do our jobs better. Number two, I think it wouldn't be wrong for us to all think and acknowledge that we want, selfishly, that we want our professional lives to be better. We want to be more efficient, more productive, and with fewer unnecessary clicks throughout the day, and being able to get home to our families earlier. And number three, and I think this reason probably unites all of us together here in this room, is that we all recognize, no matter who we are, what we do, that one day we will be on the receiving end of healthcare, that each one of the 133 of us will be a healthcare consumer one day. So when I lie on that operating table someday, I hope Dr. Andres, are you here? Maybe, oh yeah, Brett, that you will know what you're doing and you like what you're doing so that you don't cut off my wrong leg. And then when I need my first colonoscopy, which is not too far from now, if indicated, that Dr. Gluckman and Dr. Pai will reimburse, Dr. Anderson appropriately so that he will give me the good stuff to achieve the right level of sedation. So as we hear our amazing speakers' talks today, please continue to ask yourselves why we're here. We're here because we need to make this health system better, more affordable, and more sustainable. Because we recognize that apathy and resigned acceptance of the current problems will not get us anywhere. We're here because we need to figure out incremental improvements, small as they may be, and that we know that the status quo is no longer a viable alternative. So with that, let me introduce you to our first speaker,